two big fights.
30th, we got the female fight, right? Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. Big fight. That's one I'm looking forward to as well. In New York, the city's so nice they named it twice. New York. It's at Madison Square Garden. Possibly the biggest fight in female boxing history. Possibly. I know Jackie Frazier-Lyde and Layla Ali was a big deal back when it happened, but women's boxing wasn't on the platform that it is now. It's on major networks and a lot more people talking about it. At the time, I remember Layla Ali and Jackie Frazier-Lyde fought. It was a ton of press for it, but then it kind of just female boxing kind of just died out afterwards as far as a crossover potential that it might have picked up off of that fight. I think women's boxing in general as a whole is much more popular today. The fighters are much better today. And you got two of them going head-to-head with Taylor and Serrano. I think Serrano has not looked as good lately as she has in the past. And I do believe, it's my personal belief that that's why they made the Eddie Hearn made the Taylor matchup with Serrano now. It's still a dangerous fight, but Serrano has looked more ordinary than she had before. Serrano in the past I thought was... I would have picked, a few years ago, let's put it this way. A few years ago, I would have probably picked Serrano to beat Taylor. At this point, I'm most likely going to edge, and my prediction, because my prediction doesn't mean anything, but my prediction would probably be right now that Katie Taylor would beat her, the way they've both been, based on their both recent run of form.
Are you not a fan of Amanda?
I'm a big fan of Amanda, actually. I don't understand why when I predict something, it means I have to like or dislike somebody. Sometimes I actually like somebody more than the other person, but I just don't think they're going to win. I don't think... First of all, I think anybody who predicts fights based on who they like as opposed to what they know is an idiot, okay? Like, you can tell me... I'm actually rooting for Amanda to win that fight, to tell you the truth. I just based on the recent run of form, I just don't think she's been looking in a way compared to the way Katie's been looking that she's gonna beat Katie. A couple of years ago, I would have picked Amanda. So I don't think based on the way they were looking a few years ago. So I don't think predicting somebody to win or lose is a method of saying you like somebody more than the other. I gotta admit I was guilty of this as well when I was fighting, because I was younger, and when you're younger, you're dumber. So I would anytime somebody picked against me, predicted against me, I always would like take offense to it. Oh, that guy doesn't think I'm gonna win this fight. I'm gonna remember that. It doesn't necessarily mean they like you more than the other person. Amanda's the New York fighter. I know her. I know her team. I'm gonna root for Amanda Serrano to win that fight. But if I'm going to make a prediction, even doesn't matter who I like and what I don't like. If I'm going to make a boxing knowledgeable prediction, and that in my opinion is boxing knowledgeable, then I have to make my prediction regardless of who I like or not. So I definitely like Amanda. I'm going to be rooting for Amanda in the fight, to tell you the truth, because there's a lot more in common there with the New York camaraderie and everything, and I've always felt that for New York fighters in general, especially when they're fighting people from out of town. So, no, I just feel like Amanda's been looking a little bit disinterested lately in the fights that I've seen her in. She's kind of just been through the motions, nothing dazzling. Looked pretty ordinary and just walking people down, even defensively irresponsible, even getting hit with stupid shots. She was just too strong and too good for the fighter she fought. She was a heavy favorite. Which I don't think really prepares you for the intensity of a Katie Taylor fight, who can kind of change rhythms. The opposition she'd been fighting wasn't able to change rhythms, and she never changed the rhythm herself, or even thought to do that. So I don't know if that's because she's disinterested or she's just taking them lightly. I think it's a terrific fight, and I make my prediction, but I still root for the person that I want to win. I'd love to see Amanda Serrano win that fight.